Hey guys, it's Amber and I'm going to be working on this cut file here today. So I didn't do a process video for how I made this because this is something that Amy Gretchen taught in the Product Play 4 class. However, I did just want to quickly go over what the products are that I used. So I used a wood grain tree paper for this that I got from, I'll have to link it, I can't think of the name of the site right now off the top of my head, but I used the clear transparency circles. However, I didn't use the actual clear transparency circles. I printed these out on my printer on photo paper. I did not want them to, I was kind of hoarding them, right? I'll be honest. So I was hoarding them. And I also wanted to control the color. Online they looked really teal, so I darkened them. I picked like a darker color. So this one, and this one are all transparency circles from the 2020 collection. This is from the Liz Tamanaha paper collection. I used part of it for my texture sampler intro page. This is from the die cut pieces from the 2019 kit. I had never used it, but it was a great green that matched this vibe. This was a die cut from Jasmine Jones from a couple years ago. I want to say 2016 or 2017. Really loved the branches look, and I've been wanting to use this for forever. So I thought this was a nice place to use it. The fabric star here is from the fabric kit last year. This is what it is here. Love the texture. I've already used 2 of them in my album and I have 2 more. Before I wasn't interested in using them. It's funny how things get your attention later on. So I used one of these on my intro page, and I did the same treatment with one of these little tiny mini star brads in the middle and just glued that right on there. This is from the copper tree chipboard from this year. A cork tree from multiple years ago. This is from this year's chipboard. This is from this year's felt hearts. A chipboard from a previous kit. I'm not sure exactly when. Same with this die cut with the gold foil. That's from a few years ago. This is an Ellie's Studio wood piece. This is a wood chipboard from the QVC Alley releases. And then this piece here is a transparency. It's actually technically one of these hexagons from last year, only the green happened to be a deeper part and the gold was a smaller part, but it was the perfect green for this, and it had a nice message that matched, and I added a tiny little star brad on top there for interest. So I had really a lot of fun balancing this. You know, I have 3 stars, I have 2 hearts, I have a couple circles, I have 2 trees. So I just kind of played with the product until I felt I had good balance, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And I'm going to be showing you in just a moment how I'm going to create my pieces that are going to go inside these fun little flaps here. And I am going to be showing you how I'm creating some of my circles here in Photoshop. So this is my first time doing this, so hopefully I don't mess this up. But what I'm going to do is I've created a 5x7 piece here because I need to print out 5 2-inch circles, and I can't fit those all into a 4x6. I'm going to be printing this on vellum, but what I'm going to do is go up here to to layer, new, okay, and then I'm going to create a circle here from the elliptical tool, and I'm going to actually make these 1 3/4 inches because the opening to that window is 1 3/4, and I want to make sure that my font is well within that range. I'll probably actually delete these rings right before I print so that they don't punch out off a little bit. I'll be using a 2-inch punch, but I want to make sure that the text is within that 1 3/4 inch ring. So what I'm going to do is go up here to edit stroke. I usually keep it at a 3 pixel line. Right now I have it set to a light gray, and I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to select the move tool. Oops, that's not what I tried to do. There we go. I don't need to select the move tool. So I'm going to just drag and drop this circle over here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the fill stroke 5 times. There could be an easier way to do this. This is how I was able to figure it out. So I'm trying to leave myself plenty of room around these to punch. And edit, oops, not fill, edit stroke for one last time. Okay, and then all I need to do is just deselect this, and now my circle's gone. So on my layer 1 here, I have my 5 circles. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm not even really sure how to create a like circular journaling thing, but I'm going to create a new layer, and I will do this for each of these. I'm going to go to my text. I've already got Remington Noiseless selected, and I believe it's going to be about a 12-point font to have this look about how I want it to. And I'm going to arrow down so that it starts down where I prefer, and then I'm going to be changing that color just to plain black. And these are going to be 5 things that I was grateful for on the 3rd. So, grateful for my new, and I'm not going to read you all of these as I figure them out. So, grateful for my new glitter tree sitting on my scrap room desk, bringing so much joy. Okay, so, and then you can also move the tool and kind of like center that a little bit so that you're pretty happy with it. And then I'm going to just show you how the next one goes by creating a new layer, because I don't want to mess with that at all. I'm going to repeat that same step. I was up a little high there with my square. There we go. You don't have to be like perfectly on it. It's just easier if you're close. I'm going to enter down again. I'm going to finish typing in my 4 other reasons, and then I will jump back on to show you how I print everything. Okay guys, so I've got my journaling typed out. I have my 5 grateful for things. And what I'm going to do now is go to my eraser tool, make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm just going to simply delete all of my circles, because I think I'll be able to line them fairly well up in my punch. And like I said, I could actually now, if I really wanted to, I could change these and create them to be 12-inch circles. Then that would give me an exact punch to look forward, to make sure that everything is centered. I'm pretty good with that kind of stuff, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm going to attempt to print it on my vellum, and if it is screwed up, I will come back on here and add 2-inch circles around all of these things. So I'm just going to save this as my JPEG. To my desktop. And then I will get all of my stuff ready to go to save and print, and then I'll be back more with video recording. Thanks again. So I think I am going to test on my printout here, and as you can see, I missed which side it got printed on, but I'm curious now which will look better, green or rose gold. Like the rose gold could be hard to see because it's only like a 12-point font, but you know, both are really shiny. So what I'm going to do is do a little test. Yeah, it's already open on the other side. I'm going to do a little test of both colors here on my scrap paper, since it also went through my laser printer. And I'm going to see which one I like, and then I will do the real thing on the vellum. And the good thing is it doesn't really require too much of this to get that test, which is nice. And I'm actually going to go ahead and reuse some of this washi, just because it's so curly. It's such a small piece. And if you ever do this, you really want to make sure that the washi is far away from your project, because I've had it like pick up on the mink foil before. And like, it's hard to describe without seeing it, but it definitely will show up. So I'm thinking about the rose gold. The layout is like cork wood pieces and lots of greens, but you know, of course the whole album is rose gold right now. And I think it will look really pretty. So, a quick little strip here. I could really just do one and then I'll know what it looks like, but may as well just do the whole thing. I need a smaller scrap desk. I actually have a really big scrap area. It's just a lot of my supplies are to my right, which you cannot see. May as well just use this washi. That's the great thing about washi tape, right? So repositionable. Alrighty. Okay. Let me get my mink set up and then I will show you the results. Alright guys, so real quickly, I am just running this through the mink. I have it set on setting 3 because I'm only doing it on copy paper, and I kind of sped through it here a little bit just so you can see it. Just waiting for that to pop on out. Sometimes that's like the most impatient thing you can do, is wait for that thing to completely finish going through the carrier sheet. One thing I will say is I'm disappointed in myself for not realizing that the ink on the backside of the paper would get on my carrier sheet, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to remove that, or I'm always going to have to put some sort of paper under it. But here I'm just showing you the shine. Really happy with both. And then I decided to pull the project out, realized I was in the wrong album. So closing that one real quick, grabbing the other album that has my current pages that I'm working on. And I want to see what they look like under the flaps. You know, if I want to go with the green, so I'm kind of looking at the whole layout, or the rose gold, and they both honestly look so pretty that I decided I didn't need to choose, and then I would just duplicate this again exactly the same way with green and the rose gold, because they pull from both really well, and the rose gold reads better than I thought. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing the mink on the vellum for real. I put a piece of paper underneath my vellum so that the accidental transfer that I got on my carrier sheet wouldn't accidentally reheat back on there and screw it up, especially since this is see-through. Really happy with how these came out. You'll see that it was actually curling a little bit there, so I set it on the mink, which was still warm, and I flipped it over actually so that it would, it actually helped work to help keep it straight. So, love the way this came out. Got my 2-inch punches out, punched these out, everything looked great, started getting everything mounted, and then I realized that I needed to reformat my text. I actually got like 4 of these adhered before I realized I just wasn't happy, because what I forgot to realize is that they're not perfect circles. And so I went back into my file that was on my computer. You can kind of see the top left part of my screen there. I left justified everything, and then I actually had to make the font smaller so that it would fit inside better. My only other mistake after that was not punching with a larger punch so that I had more room, which I'll explain in a little bit. Alright guys, so I'm just going to get this layout finished up here. Printed out my photo enlargement, and I never like to waste paper, so sometimes I'll print like extra digital elements just so that I have them ready to go, and I'm more likely to use them if they're already printed. So this was a 3x8 from In a Creative Bubble that I will set aside with my stash behind me. I'm going to actually double check that this fits. Oh yes, plenty big enough. Quite a bit larger actually. So I'll just finish trimming it, and then I will have to trim it down once I glue it all together anyway. So, totally different from what I was expecting this day 3 layout to end up being. I actually thought that I was going to do something related to my advent calendar because these kind of remind me of those little flaps that you do, but I really love the rose gold and the green mix, and glad that I decided to re-justify these over. I had to redo everything because I didn't account for the fact that these aren't perfect circles, and so when I had everything centered, it wouldn't quite fit perfectly. So I justified everything to the left, and I actually had to make the font a little bit smaller so that everything would fit within that space. So I did all those steps, and you can see what a mess the back is. It's kind of funny. I'm actually going to use some like super heavy duty tape to ensure that it really sticks. I could like lift all of these up, but that would be like a nightmare to try to connect properly, because every time I try to stick it down, it would stick to something. So I'll just use this 1/4 inch terrific tape, and then I might use the 1/8 along the holes there. Be careful I don't get within the vellum area and not go over the edge. This is kind of a weighty page because of all the layers. Stick some right here, and that might be good enough. I don't think the 1/8 will fit through here. Let me check and see. It might just fit. So this is actually what I'm seeing in front of me here. I don't usually tell December daily stories in my December daily. It's very Inception-y, but one of the things I talk about is all my things that I'm grateful for is how excited I've been about working on the project and doing videos and my glitter tree. So I thought it'd be appropriate to take a picture of those things. So I'm only going to release 2 sides, I think, so that I can get it kind of square, and then once that's down, I think I'm going to release the paper for the other 2 sides. So I know this is going to be not perfect. And I'm not really super worried about the fact that the flaps are sticking up so much, because I know that the weight of the rest of the book will help them stick down. I should have pulled this one up before I stuck the other piece down. It's just so bulky from all the stuff on the other side that I wanted to make sure that it went down like really nice and smooth. Just gonna trim with my scissors. And I like the fact that too, that the little bit of white will make the vellum pop a little bit more. Like, I like see-through elements, but I don't always love if something like messy looking is behind it. So I often back my see-through elements with white. And that's actually partly why when I was creating this page, instead of using the transparent versions of these, I'm kind of hoarding them to start with, but also I didn't want the entire page to be like completely see-through. There we go. So all that I have left to do is punch it out, but I'm really happy with how it looks. Everything looks good. The other thing too that I would do next time is I would make this, I would do kind of concentric circles on my Photoshop. I would create maybe like a 2 1/4 inch circle and then the 1 3/4 inch circle so I could see where the journaling need to be. But so that I would use a bigger punch, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because the 2 inch with everything being justified is like right on the edge of all of these. Like, they're really close. And in fact, this one I had to kind of tuck back under because they're really, really close. But I knew that I'd be taping everything back down and that it wouldn't really matter too much. Okay, just get this lined up. It's hard to see because it's like white on white. If you're ever not sure on something, you could always grab a power punch instead of using your 6-hole punch, but man, it sure is easier and smoother. Okay, so that is ready to go in the album. I think day 4 is going to end up being different from what I anticipated. I was going to do my version of Allie's Around the House for day 4. However, I think I'm going to have a different project in mind, and I'm going to be excited to share that with you once I get to working on it. So see, these stick up, but I'm sure that with weight they will stick down once they're in the book for a while, because I just kept having to pull them up so much to make sure everything was aligned, but I'm not worried about it at all. So, all right, thanks again for watching, and please subscribe if you want to get automatically notified for my videos. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much.